For our practice this week, though, uh, I had an interesting, kind of serendipitous moment the other day. I was going to this coffee shop that I work at often, and um, I ran into one of my students there. And the last time I'd seen her, she was like, "What are your thoughts on doing like a workshop on compassion?" I was like, "That's a really good idea." And with the craziness of the studio, New Year's, the 2 year anniversary of the studio, kind of put it on the back burner. And then I ran into her again, and she was like, "So, are you still thinking about doing that workshop?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'd love to." Um, and then she started talking about how she uh, just finished reading The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. And the interesting thing is, back in 2020, when the world went into chaos, I had actually sat down and created like a whole workshop series on this book, The Gifts of Imperfection. And a huge component of that is compassion. And so it's just, I think, a extra nudge of the universe to lean into that. But when I opened up the book briefly this morning just to see if there was something that resonated to offer to you, um, I saw this one phrase and that it really popped out to me. It was Renee talking about when we sacrifice authenticity for approval. And this to me is such a key component to living a compassionate life, right, within our own being. When we choose to shift how we are and who we are to gain approval, and we abandon parts of ourselves, the parts that are authentic, in order to seek approval, we create an inner dissonance. We kind of become like an imposter in our own skin, I think. And over time, that creates like this huge inner tension of like who I am and then who I am to the world. And the other day, one last little story moment, I was in this workout class and this instructor, um, I took her class the first time recently and she's like crazy. And I love her because I find myself working harder in her class than any other class. And she has this energy that just like motivates you to try hard and to do your best. And she has this really awesome balance of pushing you, but also saying like, meet yourself where you're at. And I feel like that's such a fine line to find. Um, but because she's like crazy and loud, she gets a lot of pushback on who she is. And she came into class the other day. She's like, "I am who I am. I'm unapologetically loud and crazy. And if that's not for you, that's okay. But like, this is who I am and I'm not going to change." And I think that was a good reminder to me too, as someone who steps into spaces and, is up for review every time I teach a class, that like who we are and what we offer, we want it to be unique and individual and authentic, and um, to not change that because someone else is telling us that who we are isn't enough. So in whatever environments that you find yourself, if you find that moment of like changing yourself for the approval of others versus creating shifts in yourself because it feels true for you, just being curious about that. Like when you decide to make a shift, like what is the root of that decision? And just being curious with that. It doesn't mean that we quit growing because you're like, "I'm enough, I'm good," but it's an invitation to um, grow in the ways that feel true, and to set aside this need to be something or someone for someone else, right? Because at the end of the day, we aren't perfect for everyone. And so if we abandon ourselves in the process, then even our inner world doesn't feel good. So anyhow, that's my long TED talk. We're going to lean into hip opening and like shoulder heart opening today. So I feel like that goes hand in hand with both compassion and like peeling back the layers to the core. So we're going to start in a child's pose if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, seated meditation will be a good secondary option. Let's take a moment to settle into your chosen shape. Maybe child's pose, your knees wide, big toes to touch, arms reaching out. Perhaps a tall spine, seated meditation, creating space across the chest with maybe a shoulder roll. As you allow yourself to settle into this first moment of intentional stillness, just begin to create contact with your breath, just turning your awareness, your attention to inhale in and exhale out. As you observe your breath, notice your energy, how it feels in this moment. Just leaning in with this observation from a place of curiosity. And as you start to deepen your breath, feeling your inhales get slightly more expansive with every cycle. And inviting your exhales to lengthen out a little bit with each round of breath. Maybe notice what you notice within your energy as you start to deepen every inhale and lengthen every exhale. As this turning towards your breath create a shift energetically for you. Maybe you feel your body shift a little bit more ease. Maybe you feel your mind clear a little bit. Maybe a softening of the heart. As you continue to deepen your breath, just offering the intention to your practice to be unapologetically yourself on your yoga mat. Take what you need and what feels true in your body to change or adjust things that don't feel right for you. And to honor your unique anatomy in each moment along the way. Gathering that intention in, gather a deep breath through your nose. When you're ready, open mouth, exhale, send it out. Let's take an inhale through the nose all together, shifting into our Ujjayi pranayama. And finding that oceanic exhale through your nose, Ujjayi exhale out. Good. One more Ujjayi breath in together, fill up. And through your nose, that audible Ujjayi exhale. Continue to work with your Ujjayi breath. And then when you feel ready to slowly start to make your way to a tabletop pose, that's where we're headed. So we're going to shift forward to our tabletop. Just adjusting so that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, hips over your knees. With an inhale, start to find your cow pose. Begin to scoop your heart and tailbone tall to the ceiling. Actively pull the earth towards your knees as you stretch your sternum forward and through. Then exhale to your cat pose, big tuck of the tailbone and chin as you actively push down and forward to emphasize that rounding through the back of your heart. And this time we'll inhale to our cow pose again, heart and tailbone lift tall. Proud energy through the sternum. And stay in your active cow pose and shift a little forwards and backwards. So continue to actively engage the muscles along your spine to lift your heart and lift your tailbone, feeling some effort through the back of your body as you shift forwards and backwards. Taking a big breath in. As you exhale, follow that breath out into your cat pose. And repeat the same process. Find your really super strong active cat pose, driving the earth away. And then a little shift forwards and backwards. And this time, as you find your way to neutral and tabletop, we're going to take our tabletop gecko pose. So same as what you would take on our bellies, but with our hips stacked over our knees. So fingers go nice and wide. As you tighten your fingertips on the earth, shift your chest forward a little bit. We're going to go straight down first, so take a big breath in. As you exhale, sternum goes towards the earth. Now really push your fingertips so your arms are incredibly active here. You have to create energy in here to get your deep, deep stretch. So you're pushing into your fingertips. Sternum reaches to the earth. And think about stretching your elbows super wide to the width of the room. So for your right elbow, press to the right, left elbow, press to the left, collarbone stretch wide across your chest. Okay, keep that active engagement, maybe explore just a little bit more depth. Then as you inhale, push the earth away, rise up. We'll incorporate our twist. On your exhale, left shoulder is going to stretch across towards the right side of your yoga mat. Look over to the right side of the room. And just waiting for a breath in, take your time to rise through center. And repeat on the second side. Right shoulder is reaching towards the left side of your yoga mat. Twist your gaze to the left side of the room. Strong arms, elbows tall. Then breathe your way back to center. With your exhale, adjust your hands to stack beneath your shoulders once again. And then take a step into your high plank position. As you find your plank, take a big breath in. Begin to push through your hands and push through your toes, creating a little bit of upward energy in your body. And use your exhale to draw your front body to your back body. Breathing out, front ribs draw in, navel to spine, thighs pull up to the sky. From here, inhale, shift a little bit forward and backwards, working up your ankles and your wrists. And exhale, bend your knees and press your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And then take a really slow pedal here. So bend through one knee, reach the opposite heel to the earth. Pause there for a moment. And then a slow switch to find second side, really giving this its time. Head is relaxed. There's a huge energy pushing through the lengths of your arms, getting more space, more distance between your armpits and your hip creases. And then wander forward into your forward fold. Let your knees soften. Release the weight of your skull as completely as you can. Think about a breath, sending your tailbone energetically to the sky. Lean a little bit forward into the fronts of your feet. Good. From here, we're going to take our left hand to the earth or a yoga block beneath our face. So you can be on your left fingertips, left palm, or left hand can come to a block. And we're going to start to twist open to the right. Bend your left knee. Move towards extended in your right leg and reach your right hand nice and high. Big twist open towards the sky. Think about pressing with your left hand to help turn your sternum up to the ceiling even more. An invitation for a half bind here. You internally rotate your right shoulder. Take the back of your right hand to the outside of your left hip. Then bend at your right wrist and think about reaching your right elbow to the wall behind your heart. Feel your hip creases, your sitting bones stretch back. Shoulders out of ears. To unwind, bend both your knees and fold forward through center. We'll reset with a halfway lift. Inhale to lengthen out from crown to tailbone. Find a slight untucking action of your tail. And exhale, forward fold. Switching sides, right hand's going to come below your face to the earth or a block. Start to bend into your right knee. As you lengthen your left leg, big rotation open to the left. Sitting bones stretch back. Think about extension along your spine as you push through your right hand. Rotate towards the ceiling. An invitation for that half bind again here. Internally rotate your left shoulder. Then use the back of your left hand on your right hip as leverage as you bend your left elbow towards that wall behind your heart, collarbones open. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, both knees bend. Gently fold through center. We'll inhale to a halfway lift once again. Find your length. Then exhale, forward fold, release. With soft knees, heavy head and arms rolling up to stand. We're going to rise to our mountain pose. Allowing that stretch between your shoulder blades as you journey up. At the top, a big shoulder shrug to open your chest. Hands will reach high as you inhale. And find your goddess arms as you exhale, elbows go wide. Pausing here, take a big breath in. On your breath out, let your hands interlace behind you. Right thumb goes on top of your left. Now start with bent elbows, draw your front ribs in, and think about using your hands on your sacrum as a leverage to press your elbows back and stretch your collarbones wide across your chest. But keeping that stretch of your collarbones across your heart, then you might decide to send some length down your arms. Punch energy through your knuckles, and then as you punch through your knuckles, puff up your heart, big breath in. Maybe slight lift of your chin. An option to keep the bind as we bend our knees and tip forward to our forward fold. Again, think about reaching energy through your knuckles. Draw your shoulders away from your ears, and as you relax your head, take a moment. An option to keep the bind as we inhale to a halfway lift. Make sure there's a little bit of a bend in your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe with your bind. As we exhale, forward fold, release your arms. Inhaling to a traditional halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll roll up to standing. Same thing as before, head and arms are heavy. Back body opens as you rise. You make your way to the top, shoulder shrug. Maybe the elbows get involved this time. And then inhale, hands to the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana. On your exhale, open your chest, goddess arms. Pausing for your breath in, use your shoulder blades to push your heart to the ceiling. With exhale, hands interlace behind you, left thumb on top. Okay, navel to spine, front ribs in, and then think about stretching your collarbones way open across your chest. From there, option to find the extension through your arms, or you can keep your elbows bent. Inhale here, proud chest, maybe a lift of your chin. Exhale, soften your knees, tip forward to your forward fold. Once you relax your torso, your head, again, punch away through your knuckles, create that space between shoulders and ears. Keeping that, perhaps you keep the bind. Inhale to your half lift. Bend to the knees, lengthen out. Exhale, forward fold, let everything go. We'll plant our hands and step back into our high plank position. As you find your plank, you can create upward energy through your entire body. You'll use an inhale to shift forward to your tippy toes. The knees up or down. Can you keep that front body engagement as you slow motion descend to the earth? Collarbones are stretching wide, elbows tuck in as you lower down. Untuck your toes, pressing through the tops of your feet. Low cobra. Inhale to rise. Good. Exhale, staying lifted. Can you reach your elbows back and towards the midline of your body? Feeling energy through your lats, the backs of your armpits. Take one more big breath in. Good. Well, exhale, lower down. Gecko pose. So same thing we took from tabletop, but now from the earth. Fingertips are tented, elbows are high, shoulders out of ears. Engage your arms, squeeze the earth with your fingertips, and then inhale, lift your heart up any amount. With exhale, we're Take our right shoulder across first. So right shoulder dips in, twist towards the left. With your inhale, rise through the midline. And exhale, second side, left shoulder dips in, twist to the right. Big breath in returns you back to center. And breath out, lower down. Hands will frame up your rib cage. Now using this space we've been creating through our shoulders, we'll inhale to our upward facing dog. Begin to lengthen. Collarbones wide, strong through your legs. Downward facing dog. Draw your hips up and back. Good. From your downward facing dog, big push. Inhale your right leg to the ceiling, three-legged. With your exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Feel the strength of your center light up again. Feel your right glute strong. Maybe take a hip circle in each direction. And from here, three-legged dog, reach tall through your right leg. Exhale, right knee is going towards your right shoulder. As you bring your right knee in the direction of your right shoulder, push the earth away through that entire journey. And then from your strong center, inhale, three-legged dog. Return your right leg to the sky. Exhale to your lizard lunge. Go just as slow. Use your core to bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And then lower your left knee to the earth. Good. We're going to start square. So maybe you stay on your hands. You could come down to your forearms. If you're kind of in an in-between space, you can also bring your forearms to a block. Good. Energize your right leg a lot. So root down to the four corners of your right foot. Think about squeezing through your inner thighs. And then also invitation here to find a hamstring curl and flex your left heel towards your seat. If you want to stay square, that's perfect. If you'd like to incorporate a twist, start to swim your right hand back in space. Perhaps you catch your left foot. Your right toes might decide to rotate slightly open externally to the right side of the room. Whatever variation you're in, think inhale for more length through your spine and exhale for more depth. From here, as you release, we're going to come up to our hands in our lizard lunge and take a wide half split. So right foot's going to stay on the outside of your right hand. And to lengthen your right leg, flex your right toes to the sky. You can always adjust your hands back or bring your hands to yoga blocks. As you flex your right toes tall, you engage the entire length of your right leg. Think about anchoring your right heel down to the earth and isometrically drag your right heel towards the back of your yoga mat as you reach your heart forward. And one more breath. And continue to take your breath in and out here. We're going to slow motion start to transition out. So moving through our lifted lizard lunge. Take your time as you tuck your back toes and lift your back knee to in a really strong lizard lunge. So think about pushing through your left toes so your left thigh is active. You want to keep that the whole time. Pushing through your hands, engage your core. Slowly step to a side plank. Right foot's going to stack on top of your left or stagger in front of your left. Push the earth away to lift your hips up super high and reach your right hand to the sky. Big breath in. Now on your exhale, keep your hips as high as you can. Keep pushing down to lift them up. And slowly wrap your right hand underneath your left ribs, reaching towards the wall behind you. Feeling that stretch through your upper back, engagement through your side body. Slowly inhale to peel back open. Right hand returns to the sky. On your exhale, you're going to swim your right hand overhead, stretching through your shoulder as you come to your high plank position. And big breath in shifts you to your tippy toes. Exhale, chaturanga or downward facing dog. So maybe lower halfway or all the way. Breath in to open your chest. And breath out to downward facing dog. And we'll inhale left leg to the sky. Find that lift through your leg. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Relax your head, but continue to move energy through the lengths of your arms here. Option for your hips circle in each direction. So one giant rotation one way and then the other. We'll reconnect in our three-legged dog. Inhale, lengthen your left leg, squeeze your left leg. Exhale, left knee towards your left shoulder. Slow, strong shift forward. Following a breath in, re-extend your left leg high to the sky. And then use your breath out to find your lizard lunge. That same intention in transition, big push, left foot lands. Release your right knee to the earth. Take a moment to check in here. Do you want to stay high? You could bend your elbows, forearms, or maybe forearms to a block. Good. Activate and energize through the entire left leg. So think about using your left leg strength to stamp your left foot down into the earth. And we hug through our inner thighs. So imagine your yoga block is between your legs, squeezing into that option to add in your hamstring curl as well. Drawing right heel to your seat. And you might see how that feels just square first before we rush into the twist. If the twist is interesting to you, maybe swim your left hand back. Option to connect with your right foot. Lighting up your right glute, take one round of breath here. When we release, we're going to keep the lizard lunge structure and just shift it back into our hamstring stretch. So you're in a wide half split. And then make this really strong, really engaged. So anchor through your left heel. And then as you drag your left heel back, pull your chest forward. And you light up the entire length of your left leg for one more round of breath. And continue to flow your breath as we slowly ease our way out, moving into a lifted lizard lunge. So your back toes are going to tuck. You're going to lift your back knee off the earth. Now recruit your right quad strength, your right thigh strength. Push into your hands first. And you pluck your left foot up and then slowly step into your side plank, opening to the left side of the room. Again, you can either stack or stagger your feet. Think about pushing down to lift your hips as high as possible. Feel that squeeze the right side waistline. Looking up to the sky, take an inhale. Use your exhale to thread your left hand underneath you. So continue to push down. Keep your hips as high as you can as you reach your left hand underneath. Pause for a second. Maybe push down a little bit firmer. Reach a little further. And then inhale, left hand to the sky. On your exhale, send your left hand overhead to the front. Think side body stretch into your high plank position. Just getting the shoulder a little bit more involved. Full inhale shifts you forward. Exhale, chaturanga or downward facing dog. Just deciding what transition feels right for you in this moment. We'll make our way up and back. Downward facing dog. And take a nice big breath in through your nose. And maybe open mouth, exhale, let it go. We'll inhale our right leg to the ceiling, three-legged dog. As you exhale, right knee towards your right shoulder, slow shift forward. Holding for breath in. We stay for exhale out. From here, we're going to step into our wild thing. So like you're going to a side plank, just like we did a moment ago. This time, right toe step all the way over. Find your heart opening. If you rotate your chest to the sky, reach your right hand overhead. Maybe look towards the front of the room, allowing your head to fall back. From your core, we're going to meet in a low lunge, right foot to the front of your yoga mat. You can go through your three-legged dog, or you can just take a big step forward with your right foot. We meet with our right foot forward, left leg back. Good. Left knee's going to come to a hover for a moment. Cow lunge. Squeeze your legs, your glutes. And then just for a moment as you exhale, finding your cat lunge, lengthen out your legs. Any amount. Good. From here, big bend into your front knee. We're going to go into our chair pose. Left foot comes to the front. Sinking into your strong seat. Inhale brings you upright. Then exhale, airplane arms. So you can choose to stay with airplane arms, or you can interlace your hands behind you, right thumb on top of left, either elbows bent and actively squeezing towards each other as you rest your hands on your sacrum, or you can find that full chest expansion bind, lengthening through your arms. Engage your core, leaning into left foot, come to your right tippy toes. Take a moment to flamingo your right heel up and in. And then root to rise, bring your right leg with you on your in-breath. Releasing the bind if you have it, hands come to heart. Exhale to your tree pose, right foot comes to the inside of your left leg. Now think about drawing up through your center. Right knee is open. Take a big breath in. And a slow breath out. So just send your hands up to the sky here. We're going to step into a curtsy lunge. So right foot's going to go back and towards the left side of your yoga mat. That lunge can be as big or small as you want. And then left hand's going to catch your right wrist. Think about growing tall first as you inhale. Then a little lean to the left with your exhale. And make sure your left toes are pointing forward. So you don't have a turn out, just left toes to the front of your yoga mat. From here, as you start to tip forward, airplane your arms beside you. Lean your energy over your left foot. So it's like a curtsy airplane lunge. Engaging your core, shift forward, forward, forward till you come to your right tippy toes. And slowly push into your airplane. Big breath in as you find buoyancy floating up into your airplane pose. On exhale, we're going to step back through our high crescent lunge. Right toes release to the earth. Then open into your warrior two. Good. Reverse your triangle. Take an inhale, lengthen through your left leg, lift through your left hand. Then exhale, side angle pose. Bend into your left knee. And you can decide left forearm can come to your thigh. You can bring your arm on the inside of your leg, or you could go all the way to the earth. Maybe a yoga block is a nice in-between space, yes? And wherever you're at, can you allow your hips to match your depth, yes? So if the hand is really low and the hips are high, can we adjust that and invite the hips to sink down a little bit more as well? Well, reaching your right hand overhead, extended side angle. Rotate your sternum to the ceiling. Look underneath your right bicep to the sky. Okay, from here, we slowly root to rise, reversing our triangle once again. And turn all 10 toes towards the long edge of your yoga mat and bend into your right knee for your side lunge or skandasana. So right knee is bent. You can be hands to heart, hands to earth, hips high, or you can sink down into your skandasana and flex your left toes to the ceiling. Good. One more round of breath in whatever version you've chosen. And then as we breathe out, we're going to bend into our front knee. Low lunge to the top of our yoga mat. Good. Plant through your palms. Side plank. Step your left foot back to stagger or stack. Boost your hips up away from the earth. Take an inhale to reach up to your left fingertips to the sky. Exhale, thread your needle. Left hand reaches underneath your right ribs. You can always be floating your left leg if you want more challenge here. Inhale, left hand to the ceiling. On your exhale, first side body stretch, reach your left hand overhead. Stretch your shoulder out of the socket a little bit energetically, so protraction, and then into your high plank. Take a big breath in. You decide chaturanga or downward facing dog. Either choosing to move through your flow, Making the choice to send your hips up and back. We'll inhale, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, brings your left knee towards your left shoulder, shift forward. Hold for your inhale. And stay for your exhale. Left foot's gonna go up and over. Think about lifting your hips high, use your core. Wild thing. Place your left tippy toes to the earth. Spin your heart up to the sky and reach your left hand overhead. Find a breath. You choose your pathway to a low lunge. So you can go through your three-legged dog, having the support of both hands, or you can look forward and take a big step forward with your left foot. Maybe rising to your fingertips here, right knee comes to a hover cow lunge. Squeeze the muscles through your legs. On your exhale, lengthen your legs any amount. Cat lunge, continue to squeeze the muscles through your legs. When you're ready for your next transition, bend into your front knee. One purposeful step to your chair pose, minimizing momentum as you bring your right foot forward. Inhale opens your heart and hands. And exhale, airplane arms. You might do that little shoulder shrug here to open your chest. And again, if you wanted to, you can incorporate the bind, this time left thumbs on top. So elbows can be bent and hugging towards each other, or arms can be actively long. Leaning into your right foot, come to your left tippy toes. From here, flamingo, left heel up and in. So you focus your gaze and connect back to your breath, and inhale brings you upright. As you exhale, tree pose, left foot to the inside of your right leg, hands, and be releasing to heart center. Right, focus your gaze, take a breath. Maybe fall over like me. Okay, from here we have our step into our curtsy lunge. So again, the length of your lunge is entirely up to you. Your left foot's going to step back and towards the right. Right foot stays as is, so right toe still pointing forward. Inhale, pushing through your legs, grow tall. And your exhale, right hand catches your left wrist, side bend to the right. Powering up through your left leg for a breath. Now to set yourself up for success in this next transition towards our airplane pose. First, just lean forward and find your upper body in your airplane position. So airplane curtsy lunge. Shift into your right foot until you come to your left tippy toes. And then without rushing, push through your right leg. Just slowly float your left leg back into your airplane tail. In your airplane, take one deep breath in. And super slow motion as you breathe out, begin to step into your high crescent. Once your left toes land on the earth, warrior two, unwind. We'll inhale to reverse our triangle, creating a little release to the right hip first. And then side angle pose your depth. So I do kind of encourage you to go maybe a little bit deeper in your side angle. And then again, invite your hips into that same plane of depth. Rotate your heart open to the sky. Try to keep your left leg energized as much as your right. And then add in the side body stretch, extending your side angle. As you take your left hand overhead, you're flipping your palm down to the earth. You're turning your left thumb back in space. Maybe peek underneath your left bicep. Good. Now from here, moving the block out of the way if you're using one, reverse your triangle, dig your right heel down into the ground, feel the engagement through your right seat as you rise up. All 10 toes are going to turn towards the long side of your yoga mat. Bend into your left knee for side lunge or skandasana. Good. So you can be high, you can be low, it's up to you, but take one full round of breath. Good. Starting to bend into our front knee, we're going to crawl it forward, low lunge to the top. Okay, we push into our hands. Stepping into our side plank, we're going to open to the right side of the room. Again, if you wanted to lift your right leg, that would add a little bit more balance. Challenge. Continue to push your hips up nice and high. Take an inhale. Threading your right hand underneath as you exhale. Push your hips up as you reach through. Inhale, right hand returns to the ceiling. On your exhale, your biggest reach overhead first, and then into your side plank, or rather high plank position. Inhale shifts you forward. Exhale, either chaturanga or downward facing dog. And taking your time to give each shape its moment if you're choosing to move through that flow. As you return to down dog, take a big breath in. And one open mouth exhale out. And one more layer of standing. You're going to inhale right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Stay or perhaps wild thing one more time on this side. Right tippy toes to the earth, big heart opening. And then we're going to look to the top of our yoga mat. So I definitely encourage you to try to keep your right hand lifted. Think about your side plank engagement. Using your core, look forward. Pull your right knee to your chest. And take a big step forward, right foot to the top. Perhaps you help it there, yes? Once you're there, inhale to your cow lunge, left knee dips to a hover. Exhale to your cat lunge, lengthen out your legs. Adding in a twist. Left hand's gonna be on the earth or maybe your yoga block. Rotate your heart to the right, reaching right hand high. You could add in a half bind here if you want to bend your right elbow and use your left hip as leverage to twist your chest open. Make sure your left leg is still powerful here. And then starting to release, unwind from your twist if you added that in. Bend into your right knee. So you set your block aside. Gentle standing splits, left leg to the sky, big breath in. One Shiva squat, exhale to bend through your knees. Feel your hips moving back and down in space. Feel the pressure push into your right heel to light up your right glute. Breathe into your standing splits once again, lengthen. Then exhale to your chair pose, find your strong seat. We inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, airplane arms. Maybe you interlace your hands behind you, right thumb on top of your left, open your chest. Leaning energy into your left foot, flamingo your right leg just like before. We'll inhale, root to rise. This time we're gonna go figure four as we exhale, right ankle on your left thigh. Go ahead and keep the bind for a breath if you want to, otherwise hands will find heart center. Gonna take one inhale and one exhale. Now we're gonna root to rise with our right leg again, one-legged mountain pose. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And your exhale, draw like a big hip circle to find that curtsy lunge again. Right foot's going towards the left side of your yoga mat, curtsy lunge. Catch your right wrist, take a little lean to your left side, body stretch. And then connecting to your breath, your Ujjayi breath, take an inhale in. Exhale, begin to lean towards your airplane pose. Again, try not to rush this. Once your weight is over your left foot, then push your left foot to float. Take your breath in. Option to add in a Shiva squat here as you exhale. Maybe bend both your knees. Hands to heart center as you find your one-legged squat. Inhale, return you to your airplane pose. Big push to expand. Exhale through high crescent, right tippy toes to the earth. Right away, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, open. Reverse your triangle as you take a breath in. Deep side angle as you exhale, maybe going a little bit lower this time. Extend your right hand overhead, big breath. We're gonna go directly into our side lunge from here. So your right hand's gonna take you into a little circle sweep journey. All 10 toes turn to the long edge, bend into your right knee. Side lunge or skandasana. Maybe hands find heart center. Maybe you find your archer's bow, bending your right elbow, reaching long through your left. Here we go. Low lunge to the front of our yoga mat. Bend your left knee, crawl it forward. We're going to go directly into second side. So big inhale, left leg to the ceiling. Exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Stay or wild thing, a slow step. Opening your chest. Now think about keeping your hips high, just like we did in our side plank. Big push to keep your hips high. Look towards the top of your yoga mat. Your left hand is going to be your counterbalance. Imagine you're stepping into a side plank. As you lift your left knee, pull your left knee to your chest. Take that big step forward. Maybe help it there, yes? Once you arrive, it's a cow lunge as you inhale. Right knee dips to hover. Cat lunge, hamstring stretch as you exhale, legs go long. You might catch a yoga block underneath your right hand. If you'd like to find your twist, rotate open to the left. In your twist, if you'd like to find the half bind, left hand's gonna try to go towards your right hip bone. Now I like to use my left fingertips underneath my right hip to remind me to keep my right hip buoyant and square so it's not collapsing to my inner left leg. And pushing down into the earth, take one more breath. And start to unravel from your twist and bend into your front knee. Gentle standing splits. Push through your left foot to reach your right toes tall. Take an inhale. One Shiva squat. Exhale, sink low. At the bottom, really adjust so you can feel the pressure, the workload in your left heel. And then driving through your left heel, standing splits, big breath in. Headed to our last chair pose, right foot arrives to the earth. Build it from the ground up as you take an inhale, reach. Exhale, airplane arms. Maybe interlace your hands behind you, left thumb on top, just an invitation. And as you shift into your right foot, your left heel flamingos to your seat. Breathing in, rise up with your left leg. Exhale, option for figure four this time, left ankle on right thigh. You might start to bring hands to heart center. Take a super slow, mindful breath through your nose. Through your nose, your slow Ujjayi breath out. We'll root to rise, breathe in, grow tall, bring your left leg with you. You're about to gain a hip circle into your curtsy lunge. Big hip circle, left toe step back. Right hand catches your left wrist, side bend to the right, take an inhale. With purpose, airplane pose, exhale, find your airplane curtsy lunge first. And then when your right leg is ready, push to fly, airplane pose. I know it's a tricky transition, take a big breath in. If you'd like to add in that extra Shiva squat, you can either hold your airplane or bend your knees. Take a little dip, hands to heart. Huge push to fly back into your airplane pose for your breath. Stepping through high crescent, left toes land, and open to your warrior two. Reverse your triangle, inhale, extend. Deep side angle as you exhale. Find your extended side angle, reach your left hand overhead for a big breath. We're going to take a little circle sweep, side lunge or skandasana, bend into your left knee. You want to find your archer arms, your bow and arrow arms, left elbows bent, right hands reaching forward. Right, aiming to your target of what you want, what you desire. Find an inhale. Low lunge to the front as you exhale, bend your right knee and crawl all the way forward. Good. Step forward into your forward fold, left foot meets your right. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in. Then bend your knees and sit all the way down to your exhale. Okay. Take a moment to grab water if you'd like to. We're going to lower to the back body, find a couple supine shapes, and then we'll be in our Shavasana. So finding a little bit of core engagement along the way. Create your heel anchors, so bend your knees, flex your feet into the earth, pull your navel to your spine as you sit tall and reach tall. Big breath in. You're going to exhale to slowly start to descend towards a low boat. Zip your front ribs together, shoulders out of ears. Use your core to slowly go down, down, down towards your low boat. Now, when your low back meets the earth, you're going to float your legs. Good. From here, with an inhale, prepare shoulders out of ears. Exhale, pull your navel down, reach your right leg to the sky. Good. Keep your legs nice and long. Left leg's going to stay. As you inhale, lower your right heel to tap your left toes. As you exhale, right leg to the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, switch your legs. Left leg high, right leg hovering, keeping this capital L. Right leg stays where it's at. Take a big breath in. Exhale, left heel is going to tap your right toes. Inhale, left leg to the sky. As you breathe out, knees to chest, release, relax. And find your favorite version of happy baby. So hands can stay at the fronts of your knees. You can reach up to your ankles or to your feet. Full body breath in. Maybe find a happy baby butterfly hybrid as you exhale, bringing your big toes to touch, letting your knees move wide and forward. It's slow inhale in. Slow exhale out. Releasing your knees to your heart. When you're moving, pose, hands will interlace at your right shin. Lengthen your left leg forward. Your left leg relaxes to the earth. Move your right leg a little side to side as you take an inhale. And we'll find our supine twist as we exhale. Right knee tips across you. Release your right shoulder to the earth. Maybe look to the right side of the room. Take a full breath in. And a slow breath out. Little journey brings you back to center, both knees to your chest. I'm just switching out your legs. Release your right leg long. Keep your left knee hugged in close. Little side to side movement as you take a breath in. And then supine twist as you exhale out. Drops your chin, tips to the left. As you settle into your twist, think about one really intentional breath, creating space along every rib on your left side. And feel your exhales, that invitation to sink and settle into that deep rotation. And we'll slowly navigate back to center. Bring both your knees to your chest. Sending your legs into the sky for 3 cycles of breath. Or option to go into your inversion of choice if you wanted to go into your plow pose. If you boost your hips over you, you could also go to your shoulder stand. But 3 cycles of breath, any inversion, leading us towards our Shavasana as you feel complete. If you feel called to spend a little bit more time in your inversion, feel free to take as much time as you need. Otherwise, when you're ready, let your arms and your legs go long. Allow your eyes to soften shut. Maybe adjust your shoulder blades so that they're tucked behind you to allow greater openness at your heart for these last few minutes of your practice. As you surrender into the embrace of the earth below, as you let all the lingering effort go, you take a full body breath in through your nose. The cleansing open mouth exhale to release. Start to really gently bring some attention back to the flow of your breath. And just notice and observe the rise of your inhale and the release of your exhale. As you draw yourself back to this moment right here, right now, body, breath, heart, mind, all connected in this time and space. So inviting your whole self to this moment as you close our practice. A little pause of gratitude. Yeah, option to bring hands to heart center if that feels true. Offering gratitude for this practice that offers us a pathway, offers us tools to help navigate the human experience. It offers us a format, a place, a space, right, to find healing within ourselves, within our bodies, our hearts, our minds. And gratitude of our bodies and our breath that carry us through each moment of each day. We'll take one big breath in together. One more open mouth exhale, let it go. May yoga offer us a path to compassion, and may our practices always serve as our teachers. Thanks so much for being here and continuing to show up for yourself. And namaste.